The start of Silent Hill throws us straight into the heart of action as we follow our main protagonist and his daughter on a seemingly innocent vacation to the town of Silent Hill. Things take a dark turn when Harry swerves to avoid hitting a mysterious girl in the road and crashes his car. As Harry regains consciousness, he realizes that his daughter is missing and sets out into the ominous foggy town of Silent Hill to search for her. With every step, he's plunged deeper into a web of bizarre and terrifying events.
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl? Where are you going? Hey, wait! Stop!
This is where things start to get weird. The back alleyway cameras twist and turn much like the current situation we're in, and it's nighttime all of a sudden. To further add to this craziness happening around us, randomly placed hospital beds can be spotted up ahead. The passageway up ahead also starts to narrow, making us feel claustrophobic. Staying in the Jeep with the heating cranked to the max is where I'd rather be. In the end, the MC loses sight of his daughter and instead we're greeted by a
"What is this?"
This is where we get ambushed. There's also no point in trying to escape as all the exits around us are blocked. Things aren't looking too good and the lights go out. In our search for Cheryl, we end up waking up in a safe space. From the look of things, the MC was rescued by the approaching female officer.
Was I dreaming?
How do you feel?
Oh, like I've been run over by a truck. But I'm alright, I guess.
Harry explains that he's looking for his daughter.
My daughter.
Sorry. The only person I've seen in this town is you.
Unfortunately, Cybil hasn't seen her and makes plans of her own. Before she leaves Harry though, she arms him with a handgun, increasing our fighting chances of getting out of ambushes like before in the alleyway. After picking up the supplies and trying to leave the cafe, a radio starts going off. It seems to be picking up nearby static.
Huh, radio. What's going on with that radio?
We end up getting ambushed again. Harry has a couple of things to say about this.
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
The cafe, thought to be a safe space, is no longer the case. I guess my plan to hide in the Jeep with the heating on incredibly high wouldn't really work out so well. Returning to the haunted alley from before, we find a new lead. Harry had the right idea running after her into this alleyway, but something got in the way as we got close to Cheryl and caused that nightmare we were in. Regardless of what happened, we woke up safe and sound and without a scratch. The clue Harry picks up wants us to head for the school, so off we go. The same thing that happened before in the alleyway starts to happen again. It suddenly shifts to nighttime, which means we're on the right track and getting closer to Cheryl. Making our way into the school is the first step. The next is to grab some medallions to unlock another version of the school.
Where am I? Have I been here before?
Which is a more twisted version where we see a body strung up like before in the alleyway. So knowing this, we're definitely on the right track. We continue moving through the rooms in the school with Harry, when we come across one with a bunch of phones in it. It's Cheryl on the other end, and from the sound of things, it's not looking good.
Daddy? Where are you?
Cheryl!
There's no time for Harry to get all emotional. He has to block it all out and continue moving forward if he has any chance of finding Cheryl. The last part of the school ends in some excitement, as there's no homework. Instead, it's a boss fight that can end your speedrun if you're not careful. After we beat the school boss, we see someone appear. But before Harry can say anything, she disappears.
What was that? Who in the hell was that?
The sound of church bells can be heard, meaning it's time to skip school for our new destination. As we make our way, we pray it's another human aside from Cybil that can help Harry find Cheryl, as the last phone conversation didn't sound great, and on top of that, Harry got cut off.
Cheryl!
Inside the church, a cutscene plays out with someone here as expected. The music changes once the cutscene is over and the questioning from Harry begins.
I've been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy.
What are you talking about?
I knew you'd come. You want the girl, right?
The girl? You're talking about Cheryl.
I see everything.
You know something. Tell me.
Stay back. Nothing is to be gained from floundering about at random. You must follow the path.
Before leaving, Dahlia gives Harry his next lead. After lowering the bridge and entering the other side of town, we reach the hospital. Once we enter the building, the sound of gunfire can be heard from close by. Once again, just like the ambush in the alleyway from before and the cafe not being a safe place, we proceed forward with caution. A cutscene plays out showing Harry nearly getting gunned down. We're introduced to Michael Kaufmann, who apparently just got done taking a nap.
I was taking a nap in the staff room. When I woke up, it was like this. Everyone seems to have disappeared. And it's snowing out, this time of year. Something's gone seriously wrong.
Anyway, he's in the same boat as Harry as he wants to get to the bottom of things, leaving him behind in the hospital.
Well, I'd better be going.
As we proceed further into the hospital, things start flipping upside down and a hidden floor in the elevator appears, which, as you know by now, means we're on the right track, seeing as these weird things start to occur when we're getting closer to Cheryl. The hidden floor appearing though is similar to the entrance in the school, leading us to a twisted and alternate version. Once we do what we need to do in the hospital, we can escape. But the final key to leaving the hospital is located in the basement. Be careful though, there's a bunch of sick nurses in our way mixed with the sounds of broken glass. I have no idea what this is about, but it makes me want to get the heck out of here. We pick up a videotape and enter another room with a picture of Alessa who looks very similar to the person that caused Harry to crash at the start of the game. As we make our escape from the hospital, Harry bumps into another survivor. Her name is Lisa, and apparently she just got done taking a nap like Dr. Kaufmann from before.
I was taking a nap.
Where is everybody? I must have gotten knocked out.
Harry comes off disappointed because Lisa also has no idea what's going on in Silent Hill, and she hasn't come across Cheryl either.
It's like this is all some kind of bad dream.
Yeah, a living nightmare.
Harry asks Lisa about the stuff he saw in the basement, to which she replies she was given strict orders to never enter the basement. Lucky for her though, we've already explored down there, but before Harry can reveal what happened, he's suddenly overcome with loud siren noises.
Damn! My head.
What's wrong? Harry? Harry, let me help you.
So when Harry's done napping again, Dahlia returns just in time to answer Harry's questions.
Tell me everything you know. What's going on?
Darkness. Strength must overcome petty desire, childish sleep talk.
But even after she explains things, it's just not sinking in.
I don't understand a word of this.
Instead, she resorts to telling Harry to visit this antique store so he can see the evidence for himself. She then goes on to say this situation going on in Silent Hill is beyond her and her abilities and puts it all on Harry. As we exit the hospital, our next destination is this antique store. Inside you can save your game, and moving the furniture out of the way reveals a secret entrance leading further back into the store. This also triggers a cutscene where Harry's reunited with Cybil from the start of the game.
Harry!
She rolls up on Harry like, "Hey dude, I shouldn't have left you and everything's all messed up."
It's nuts.
She couldn't leave town because of all the blocked roads. When Harry asks her, she mentions running into Cheryl but ends up losing sight of her in the fog. He's clearly not impressed with Cybil as she continues to explain.
And you just let her go?
She ran off, exactly. There was no place for her to go. The road has been obliterated.
What?
Harry then proceeds to explain what he has also come across.
Yeah, I met this bizarre woman. Her name's Dahlia Gillespie. She said something about the town being devoured by darkness. Gibberish like that.
Must be on drugs.
Harry takes point and checks out what lies beyond the hole in the back of the antique store. Making our way into the back of the store reveals some sort of ritual altar. But here's the thing, nothing happens when interacting with it, until Harry tries to leave.
What the?
It fires up all of a sudden and burns away the white powder, causing Harry to disappear from Cybil. She ends up getting worried and proceeds to investigate the back of the store, only to find everything is in order but with Harry nowhere in sight. Harry's back at the hospital all of a sudden, talking with Lisa about Dahlia and other strange things happening in Silent Hill.
Everybody followed some kind of queer religion. Weird occult stuff. Black magic, that kind of thing.
Once the scene ends, it's definitely confirmed it was a dream. When Harry snaps out of it, however, from the look of things, I'd rather stay in that dream with Lisa compared to the reality or even nightmare he's woken up in. Even Harry himself is having trouble keeping up with the town of Silent Hill, thinking he had a car accident and currently hospitalized. Moving on, he starts to remember what he and Cybil were talking about, the last known location of Cheryl, but the road leading to her is blocked. Harry feels making his way back to the hospital and asking Lisa could reveal the way forward. For now though, we need to take a detour through the mall because the normal way back to the hospital is now blocked. Entering this abandoned building, a sense of isolation starts to set in. Even though it's eerie and dank looking, it's much better than being outside in the rain with the dogs and those other weird enemies. Proceeding forward, the silence is interrupted when all of a sudden the electronics kick in on all 10 monitors. At first, it's just a bunch of white noise, but not long after, Cheryl can be seen on the screens. Further adding to Harry's stress, this is definitely going to play more mind games with Harry.
Where are you?
Cheryl!
Up ahead, you can expect the usual, exploring rooms for useful supplies that definitely come in handy later on. Or shall I say not far from now, as just up ahead the frickin' floor collapses, catching Harry off guard. He barely has time to scream. Brace yourself though, the boss here releases deadly gas, but his movements are slow enough to predict and move on. Once defeated, the enemy retreats and you can leave the abandoned mall. We enter the hospital and return to Lisa, and as you can imagine with everything going down in Silent Hill, she's happy to see Harry again.
Harry!
No time for biscuits and tea though, and certainly no time to chill with Lisa and wait for this to blow over. Like Ed suggests in the film Shaun of the Dead, Harry needs to find a way to get closer to Cheryl. When Harry asks Lisa, she says to venture down Kaufmann Road, but he recalls Cybil from before said the road was blocked. So, what now? Lisa eventually recalls another way for Harry to bypass the blocked road.
Wait! I just remembered something!
What?
An abandoned underground area near the school that leads straight to the lake. I know what you're thinking. Look at what happened in the last abandoned place. Still, if we focus on the positives, it's a new lead, and with nobody else around friendly and reliable like Lisa, it's all we have to go on. Lisa, barely keeping it together, begs Harry not to go as she can't take being left alone in this hospital. Soon as we leave the building and head for the sewers, I can't help but notice we're being set up here. The music intensifies as we're being led down a linear path, which leads us to another boss fight. It's our friendly bug from the abandoned mall, and he's got wings this time. Nice. Once we take it down, day breaks and it's business as usual, marching down the side of Silent Hill till we reach our destination, the abandoned waterworks near the school, just like Lisa mentioned. In Resident Evil, Jill picks locks, but in Silent Hill, Harry breaks it down from a stack of melee items, after which we are free to explore the Silent Hill sewers. Making our way down into the sewers, it's what you expect it to be, dank and horrible. Also, the creatures dwelling here show up and start to attack Harry. Speeding things up, we find the key to escape the sewer and finally get closer to our goal in finding Cheryl, and me getting the hell out of this dump. However, soon after collecting the final key of this area, Harry finds himself surrounded. The creatures here aren't messing around, and neither am I as I run in the opposite direction. As we make it out of the sewers and into the streets of Silent Hill, we continue to our destination. On our way, you can visit the bar, and inside we discover the doctor on the ground in trouble. Harry ends up saving Kaufmann, allowing the two to catch up since the last time they saw each other in the hospital.
So how'd it go? Did you find a way out?
No, not yet.
But it's too soon to give up. This craziness can't go on forever.
What's interesting here is Harry thinks to ask about Alessa.
Do you know a girl called Alessa?
No.
After the cutscene ends, we can pick up Kaufmann's stuff. He left behind a key and a receipt, leading to Harry finding a stash of drugs and the key allowing Harry to find a red chemical similar to the one he found spilt in the hospital. After collecting this red chemical though, Kaufmann enters the room with his theme song playing in the background like a wrestler making his entrance to the ring.
Give me that!
What is it?
He snatches his bottle off Harry and starts laying into him.
You want to get yourself killed? Get out of here.
Okay, take it easy.
Unless you want to die, keep your mind on business.
Getting back on track and making our way to our destination, the world suddenly shifts. Harry feels it's different compared to before. Next up, Harry bumps into Cybil again. She starts to lose it and wants to know what's happening in Silent Hill.
What is with this town?
At first, I thought I was losing my mind. This whole town is being invaded by the other world.
As Harry is explaining this, Dahlia crashes the party and starts going off about the demon awakening.
The demon is awakening, spreading those wings.
Dahlia Gillespie.
Once again, she tells Harry he's the only hope in stopping this nightmare and to head for the lighthouse.
Everyone will die.
So what am I supposed to do? I've got to save Cheryl.
Stop the demon. Stop it before your daughter becomes a sacrifice. Stop it! Stop it!
Cybil splits up and offers to check out the amusement park. Dahlia tells Harry he's gonna need to make use of the flowers. When the scene ends, it's time to make a break for the lighthouse. Once inside, we need to traverse the spiral staircase. When Harry makes it to the top, he realizes he's too late, missing his chance, as Alessa does her disappearing act again.
Wait! Damn, I was too late.
No time to waste though, as Harry rushes back to the boat. He realizes Cybil hasn't returned yet, so off he goes chasing after her and Alessa. As I cut to the sewer entrance on this side of Silent Hill, we catch a scene with Cybil, but something doesn't feel right. The camera's sneaking up on Cybil, and in the next scene, it's lights out. As Harry makes his way down, the journey through this section of the sewer can begin. This part of the sewer can be completed a lot quicker, but it's equally hectic, especially when getting close to the exit. As we emerge, there's not a whole lot going on here in the amusement park, but jumping on the merry-go-round drops an interesting scene with Cybil taking a load off and then casually rocking up to Harry like, "Sup?" You can make use of the liquid if you picked it up in the hospital. I don't need to explain how it ends if you battle it out with Cybil. You lose and die. Not really, Cybil dies, but using the red liquid which saves her life and frees her from being controlled. Harry gets his stomping game on. Harry explains to Cybil about Cheryl while looking after her. Harry begins to suss that Cheryl could have some connection with Silent Hill and Dahlia Gillespie. When Cybil asks Harry what his next move is, he can bet it's the same goal as before. It doesn't matter to Harry if Cheryl is adopted. He's going to see his journey through to the end and save her no matter what.
Cheryl!
In the next scene, Harry finally catches up with Alessa. She's been slicking getting away since the school and lighthouse.
Wait!
Until now though, our boy Harry's got the drop on her.
I figured you'd show. Hold it right there. I don't know who you are or what you're trying to do, and I don't care. Just one thing. Let Cheryl go. That's all I ask.
But not so fast.
What?
As Harry proceeds to rush her, a barrier stands between him and Alessa, resulting in a sci-fi matchup.
Damn!
Especially when the flowers kicks in and takes her out. Not long after though, things get interesting when Dahlia steps in. She ends up taking over and capturing Alessa. Harry isn't really sure what's happening as the scene gets covered in a blinding light.
What's going on here?
After Harry gets swept up in Alessa and Dahlia's reunion, he winds up back in the hospital, being woken up by Lisa. She gives off this weird vibe from that look in her eyes. As you can guess, dialogue occurs after this scene. The first thing that comes to Harry's mind is Alessa and Dahlia, naturally.
Where's Alessa and Dahlia?
But hold up, Lisa starts bringing up what she's been up to since Harry last visited her.
So I went to look in the basement, even though I was scared as hell. There I got this weird feeling, like I'd been there before.
She's been exploring the basement in the hospital. She's scared and doesn't know what to do. Harry tries to convince her to take it easy, but this provokes her and she ends up running away.
No, you don't understand.
Wait! Where do you think you're going?
The absence of Lisa though brings something to Harry's attention. This nightmare just gets more complicated for Harry. Alessa and Dahlia are into strange things.
This is the end of your little game, Mama.
Could she be?
Lisa's done a runner. What's happening with the doctors Cybil and Cheryl? Stay tuned for part 2. I'm only messing as there's not much of the game left, so let's find out what happens next. Making a save reveals that we are indeed nowhere. This doesn't surprise me honestly with the amount of stuff we've been through so far. And all the naps Harry's taken. As we move closer to the noise Harry noticed after Lisa ran away, he goes into a monologue about being summoned.
What happened in this town? What could be making things like this? I have a feeling if I take the elevator down, I'll find it.
The final section of Nowhere brings eerie to another level. Laughs can be heard catching you off guard. A ghost of Alessa appears, glass breaks. The music. If you don't complete this puzzle in the right way, it's an instant game over. Separate areas and locations like the school and antique shop are mishmashed together here in Nowhere. We eventually bump into Lisa again, and like the last encounter, she's getting worse.
I get it now. Why I'm still alive even though everyone else is dead. I'm not the only one who's still walking around. I'm the same as them. I just hadn't noticed it before. I'm so scared. Help me, please. Harry?
So like I said earlier, this whole end section of the game is more eerie and uncomfortable, bringing down the headstrong Alessa and the already weakened Lisa. Nobody is truly safe. But all Harry can do now is see this nightmare through to the end, seeing as he's come all this way. After the cutscene ends with Lisa, it's business as usual, picking up strange items that unlock the way forward. We find a tape and watch it. Looks and sounds like Lisa. She's talking about treating a burnt victim.
Her skin is all charred. What is keeping that child alive?
Harry also finds out more information about Alessa. While reading this, he makes a connection. The date of the fire breaking out is the same day he found Cheryl. Getting closer to the end now, Harry sees the ghost of Alessa, and a cutscene plays revealing Dahlia's plan and confirming Dr. Kaufmann is a part of it.
Are you trying to say it won't work? That wasn't our agreement.
And from what Harry sussed earlier, involved in drugs.
Never fear, the promise shall not be broken.
The next room shows off a lot of drawings and sketches similar to Cheryl. Fitting that all this is here as we proceed towards the end. We see more dialogue from the ghost versions of Alessa and Dahlia. The kid just wants to be with her mom, but Dahlia has her own agendas to fulfill even at the cost of losing her mind and child.
I could have done it all myself.
Mommy?
It's all because of that man. Even though Alessa has been stopped, his little girl has to go. What a pity.
What in the devil's name?
Alessa and Dahlia can be seen with nowhere to go, so Harry can finally confront them. When he asks Dahlia about Cheryl, she points towards Alessa, claiming she's been restored to her former self.
That's absurd.
Dahlia continues to fulfill her plan for Alessa to birth a god even after the torture she's been through so far.
What is keeping that child alive?
Once again, a bright light engulfs the open space around Harry, then boom. The doctor shows up doing the opposite of what doctors do. He mows down Dahlia without any hesitation. Talk about over the top. As I recall from earlier, he almost did the same thing to Harry when they first met. He goes on to say that he never asked for this change in Silent Hill, steeped in darkness, and demand things return to normal. Dahlia, while down, is still as confident as ever, talking about not needing Kaufmann in her plan, but she gets taken by surprise when he pulls out the red liquid he took back from Harry. It makes its way to Cheryl without hesitation. The guy's cold as ice, what can I say? It backfires though as it starts gearing things towards a showdown with the demon.
What the?
As it elevates itself higher than the rest, it throws down a wicked charge of thunder, setting Dahlia ablaze, rendering her KO'd. The trick in this final boss fight is to keep moving and pray you don't get struck from his attacks as you're shooting. After defeating it, a final cutscene plays out. As the place starts to crash and burn around us, Kaufmann can be seen trying to get out of this, but gets held back by Lisa. Before Alessa fades away, she leaves Harry with the baby and points towards the exit Harry and Cybil start running towards. In the end, things didn't turn out the way Harry envisioned it, but he successfully accomplished his mission as he escapes the town of Silent Hill with the reborn baby of Alessa, aka Cheryl. Ultimately, Harry's love for Cheryl and his determination to protect her make him a sympathetic and relatable character even as he faces unimaginable terror in his quest to find her. Silent Hill 1 is a masterpiece of psychological horror that will leave you questioning what's real and what's not. The story is a deep and disturbing exploration of guilt, grief, and the darkness within us all. The ending of Silent Hill 1 is both satisfying and disturbing, leaving you with a sense of uncertainty of the town's twisted and dark history.
I don't want to do it.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and get subscribed so you don't miss my new videos. Thank you again for watching my videos on Controller Type A and Boom Bap Sword. Thank you all for leaving comments on the channel. That's it for this video and I hope to see you again real soon on Controller Type A.